Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome to the Occult Gaming channel with me, your host, Bellar Wright. And today we're going to talk about Legacy of Kain. We're going to talk about crystal dynamics, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys the Crystal Dynamics Legacy of Kain survey, which is only up until Monday, the 10th of October. So you guys can go ahead and strap in. And this is I suppose this because I've been talking about Legacy of Kain, the rumors and stuff like that for like the past 2 years. This is gonna, I guess, cap all of that off. So I wanted to do this last week, but I never got around to it because life is super freaking busy right now. But I did want to make sure to get to it today. Let's see, just want to keep my eye on the chat, see if anybody is speaking, and this is for both Twitch and YouTube. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I got the Twitter page for Crystal Dynamics open first, and this thing has been up for a while now, for like a week or a little bit over a week, this survey. So I'm going to show you guys the survey in just a bit, but we have Crystal Dynamics tweeting on the 7th, which was yesterday. Thank you to the tens of thousands of survey respondents who've shared their feedback with us on the future of the Legacy of Kain. We're thrilled to see so much interest from the community so many years later. If you're a Legacy of Kain fan, you probably already know this stuff. I'm sure you're keeping up with it through the Facebook groups and Reddit as well. But I'm just gonna, if people don't know about it, I just want to kind of get the word out. They also tweeted right after, if you haven't already taken the survey, it's available to complete until 8 a.m. Pacific on October 10th. And it's the link to the survey. And I have the survey up right here. So the survey is really cool. I took it last week, and they offer like a lot of really cool suggestions. So I'm just going to come through. I did record this video last week, but I never got to finish it. I took the survey. I did the survey as myself, but on the video I recorded, I took it as like a new fan or whatever. But I'm just going to take it regular this time. So if you guys do this, I just want to kind of go through the questions with you guys. You put your name in. You put your gender. Do female, just to make it something different. You put your platforms that you play games regularly. We're going to act like I don't actually have a PS5, but we're going to act like we're kind of a modern gamer. And just for shits and gigs, I'm going to put the Dreamcast. And I'm not going to actually submit this. I'm going to show you guys some of the questions. And have you played any games in Legacy of Kain series? So if you're fans of the series, for sure you're going to want to take this survey. And if you're not fans of the series, if you've just seen it in passing, I just for the sake of like putting numbers, just, showing interest, I would like you guys to also take the survey and just kind of put like what you would like to see in a franchise like this. Like, as you can tell, it's kind of looking medieval and heavy metal-ish and, dark fantasy sort of thing. So if you guys are fans of any of that, please take the survey and just let them know like what you like to see in a franchise like this. But I mostly want to see you Legacy of Kain fans show up and represent. So I've definitely played games in the series, and I've definitely watched others play games in the series. And how much do you agree and disagree with the following statements? I'm a fan, strongly agree. Which games have you played? I have played them all, but make sure you guys are honest for this part. And if I were to rate these games, which I often do, the tippy top games for me in the series are going to be Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. I'm going to give that a 10. I think objectively, I would probably give it a 9. But if I consider the errors too, like the load times and stuff like that, if the game didn't have really bad load times, it's a 9 or 10 for sure. But with the load times, it's about an 8, 9-ish area. But for me, as a big fanboy of the series, it's definitely a 10. Soul Reaver also solid 10. So gameplay wise, pure gameplay, like again, if this didn't have loading issues, Blood Omen would be tied with Soul Reaver like till the end of time. But with the loading issues, I would probably honestly do like an 8.5 for Blood Omen and like a 9 or a 10 for Soul Reaver, like a 9.5 for Soul Reaver. But as a fanboy who can look, you know, who can set the issues aside, these are solid 10s for me. Soul Reaver 2, honestly, gameplay wise, gameplay is about a 7. Like, the combat's not very good. The puzzles are really good. The puzzles, the exploration, the story, automatically put it at an 8. I'm gonna put this at a 9, even though it's my favorite. I'm gonna put it at a 9 just because gameplay wise, not the strongest, but story wise, to me, it's like a 15 story wise. Blood Omen 2, I love the gameplay, but everything else is kind of meh. But for me as a fan, it's about a 7-8. I'm gonna give it an 8. Defiance is in a similar boat to me to Soul Reaver 2, but the gameplay is pretty good. But it's like a step above. It's like a step above. It's 2 steps above Blood Omen 2. So it's definitely a 9. We're gonna put these 2 at a 9. And then we're gonna put these 2 at a 10. So what this is gonna tell them is that we want to see like an open world-ish. And when I say open world, I don't mean like modern open world, like objective markers and stuff like that. I mean like in a classic sense, like these 2 original games, like these games were, or like a Legend of Zelda or something like that. So I think this is the message I want to send them. This isn't exactly how I feel as a fan. I would probably put this higher, but for them, I want them to know that Blood Omen 2 is our least favorite game. These 2 are really good to us, but these 2 are the standard that we like to see. So I don't want Legacy of Kain to be like a Devil May Cry game, and I enjoy that in Defiance, but we like it to be more like a classic action adventure title. And most memorable thing from the Legacy of Kain games, I believe I put the story before, the sweeping narrative, but you guys can put whatever you want. You may leave blank. Just don't leave it blank, please. The epic story and the tragic character. So I'm just kind of putting something blank, but I for sure filled this out last time I did it. What words would you use to describe the setting for Legacy of Kain? And they give you up to 5, so this is a really good list. All these words except for like 2 or 3 work really well, so just put how you think of the series. For me, I put I don't know if I put melancholy. I don't think I put melancholy. I for sure put epic, maybe philosophical, brutal for sure, dark, dystopian. I think I put bleak instead of dystopian. Violent is a good one. Only ones that don't really work are lighthearted, and I guess just lighthearted. Maybe whimsical doesn't work, but everything else fits. Satirical, it is a satire, but for me this is like what I think of when I think Legacy of Kain. In your opinion, what are the core features of the Legacy of Kain series? Read the entire list. So this is very subjective. You guys can put whatever you want. Of course, for me, when I think of Legacy of Kain, a lot of this stuff fits. But for me, the 5 main things with the series has to be story writing. The plot doesn't necessarily have to be complex, even though it is. But you know, for me, traversal's one, but I think I took that away for something better last time. Moral ambiguity is cool. Moral ambiguity is cool, but more so unique vampire mythology. The Soul Reaver sword, you know, it's been in every game, but you know, I don't have to have the sword in the game. The voice acting for sure, narration, fate versus free will. So instead of traversal, again, we have puzzles, exploration, visual style, art style, awesome. All this stuff, awesome. Combat. But for me, this is the main stuff: exploration, puzzles, voice acting, mythology, a unique vampire lore, as well as story and writing. And favorite protagonist, I explained this on the last video I did, but my favorite protagonist, and before I do that, let me make sure that the video, okay, we're doing good. Favorite protagonist from the games used to be Raziel. Raziel actually got me into the series. He was for the longest time, Raziel was my guy. First game I ever played was, I think I played the Soul Reaver 1 demo, but the first game I owned was actually Soul Reaver 2. So Raziel was always my guy, but once you have the and excuse me for the car outside, super loud. But once you've played the entirety of the series, once you've seen everything, the tapestry of the whole story, Kain cannot be denied. Kain is the number one. So I went from a big time Raziel fan, which I still am, but after seeing the whole thing unravel, Kain's that guy. Kain's that guy. So I'm gonna go with Kain. And for secondary character, this one's actually tough because again, I started with Soul Reaver 2, which every character in that game was top tier. Except for Ariel. Ariel was okay. She's always okay. I love her character design, her voice actress, but she's never been a favorite. But Janos, Mobius, Elder God, and Vorador are all undeniable. For me, I started again with Soul Reaver 2, so Janos was a instant favorite. His portrayal in that game was the strongest he's ever been portrayed. Afterwards, he's still pretty good character, but he's never been as good as he was in the original Soul Reaver 2. Same with Mobius. Mobius was at his best for me in Soul Reaver 2 because he was undeniable. He was, the schemer that couldn't be out schemed. But then in Defiance, he got his comeuppance quite a few times. So, and Elder God's just always, Tony J put some stank on this character. He really made this character, just iconic. So, but the thing is, I say all that, Vorador's always been a low-key favorite. And he only got better as I played more of the series. He peaked in probably Blood Omen 1, but he was also very good in Defiance and Soul Reaver 2. I actually took note of the character in Soul Reaver 2. That game made me really want to see what the rest of the history of this character. So, if I'm just going, just based off of pure emotion, I'll probably pick Janos or Mobius. But if I'm thinking about it, and if I'm thinking about what I want to communicate to the developers, I'm going to pick Vorador, simply because I think there's a lot of gold to mine with this character. I think his portrayal in Blood Omen 1, if they do remake it and start the game over again, there's potential for a Vorador spinoff, and I think Vorador will definitely become a fan favorite character if the games are ever remade in any sort of capacity. So I'm gonna put Vorador, because he is one of my favorites, but also I think he's gonna be a breakout character for sure. Okay, what would be your reaction to the announcement of a new game featuring vampires? I'd be pretty positive about it. I'm not a huge vampire fan, but I like them. We don't have a ton of vampire games these days either. And actually, I was thinking about recording vampire for you guys a couple of weeks ago. Things changed. I'm a little bit busier now than I anticipated, but that's still on the tape. I want to do a platinum run of vampire for you guys. Yes. What opinion of core features? Enjoyable vampire game. So just generic vampire game has to have mythology, good story. I would say supernatural horror. I think abilities and spells. I suppose combat. Oh, this stuff's cool, but combat, I think, be pretty good. What, if anything, has ever prevented you from enjoying a game featuring vampires? I think I wrote something in here before, but I can't think of what I wrote before. I think I put something like, boring tropes or something like that, like cliches and tropes. Overdone cliches and tropes. And again, I'm not submitting this, guys. I'm just kind of showing you like how I did it. If you guys are interested in doing this. Okay, and oh man, very positive. What would be your reaction to the announcement of a new Legacy of Kain game? Very positive. What would you prefer the next Legacy of Kain game to be? This one was tough because I didn't know what order I wanted this to be in. Enhance the quality of one of the original games. Honestly, and this isn't even the order I like to see, because if it's the order, I like remaster, remake, reboot. I don't know, because I would like a sequel, but I don't think they could do it because the voice actors would be. But I think most fans will put sequel. I think they just want to see the game's end. But honestly, if I think about it, a remake would probably kind of, it'd be like kind of like Resident Evil 2 remake. It'd be a blessing and a curse, because like you have a bunch of new cool stuff and it, makes the game popular again, but you leave a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor. If they remake Blood Omen, which I really want them to do, then I can't see them putting as much content as they did in the original in the new one. But if I want to think about attracting new fans and making the franchise as popular as it can be, I would want a remake, honestly. I think next would be a sequel. So I don't know the difference between a reboot and a remake in this regard. So I'm going to put reboot last. Rebuild one of the original games from ground up. So if anybody from Crystal Dynamics is watching, I'm not sure what separates a reboot from a remake. What separates a reboot from a remake? I would like to see the whole series done over again, but I think that would fall into the category of remake. I mean, this says one of the original games, and I guess this is the whole series, but reboot also makes me think you change the series in some significant way, which I don't want to see. If we're honest. 22, if the next Legacy of Kain game were a remaster remake, which of the original games would you like to see remaster remake first? That's gonna be Blood Omen. Has to be. Soul Reaver would be cool, but it has to be Blood Omen. Then you can go into Soul Reaver right after, so it almost doesn't make a difference. But if you do Soul Reaver first, at some point people will want to see this era, so you have to do like a prequel anyway. Or they could do like a Final Fantasy sort of thing and mix and match some of this. I don't know. They could just do literally what is it, Defiance, and like hop through different ages, which would be fine. What would be your preferred platform for the next Legacy of Kain game? We select up to 3, of course, PS5, PC, and it doesn't really matter, but Series X would be fine. And if you could, but it should be up to date, honestly. How familiar are you with the story from the original games? Extremely familiar. The next Legacy of Kain game is a sequel to the original games, to the original series. What would you like the next game in the series to include, a story or recap? Yes, please. Single player. People were up in arms about the multiplayer stuff. And these here were interesting questions. What genres would you most like the Legacy of Kain games to be? And of course, action adventure. Adventure is just like pure storytelling, I think. A visual novel would be interesting, but nah. So Metroidvania, horror, excuse me. And we're gonna action RPG. If we do a new character, adventure will be okay. I wouldn't want open world. I'd be open to it. Platformer. Legacy of Kain kind of is a platformer. Like at least the Soul Reaver 1 and 2, they're kind of platformer-ish. And yeah, that's fine. Turn-based RPG was interesting. I was actually I started making a Soul Reaver text-based turn-based RPG. I made like the first 10 minutes of the game. Let's see, what genres would you most dislike? Anything multiplayer. Not really into it. MOBA, I'm not really into MOBAs. Not really into that for Legacy Kain. Shooter, I'd be okay with it, but you know, it's not the best. And I guess beat 'em up, but I kind of be okay with that. Open world, I think. Point of reference, what modern game most resembles. So for here last time, I put either Darksiders or Dark Souls. So I expanded on those thoughts before. I put like Darksiders if you want to go in a more over the top, if you want to like show the power of Kain and Raziel as they, you know, as they get more powerful, Darksiders is the way to go. But if you want to go with that tactile Soul Reaver 1 sort of feel, and Soul Reaver 2, and also Blood Omen 1 and 2, if you want to go like a more tactile feel, then a Dark Souls or a Souls-like is more of the way you should go, because it's more, you know, a lot of people feel that that's, you know, they don't want a Souls-like for Legacy of Kain. But the thing is, I'm not saying like there needs to be a stamina bar. I just think the more methodical gameplay fits Legacy of Kain to a T, at least when it comes to Blood Omen 1 and Soul Reaver 1. Those games are, you know, more methodical. Then you go to Defiance and it's more like, you know, kind of like a baby's first Devil May Cry sort of thing. But if you want to go like a over the top Defiance style combat, then I think a Darksiders is like the most modern game that's the equivalent to that. That's not Devil May Cry, because I really don't want Soul Reaver or Blood Omen to be Devil May Cry. So as a point of reference, what media franchise most resembles the tone? I put something here, but I can't remember what I put. I can't remember what I put here. Yeah, I can't remember. It was something I watched recently, but I can't remember. Hopefully you guys got something good. My mouse, I think my mouse is dying. Final page, please share additional feedback. I think I just thanked them and wrote something else. And this here, I love it. I definitely put yes for that. So hope you guys are able to take this survey. Hope you guys are interested enough in doing that. I really would like to see a new Legacy of Kain game, so I'm super desperate for that, in all honesty. But you guys let me know what you think. Let me know what you guys want to see in a new Legacy of Kain game. I'm super curious about that. But as always, this is Bellart Wright signing off. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves and your loved ones. Hope you guys are looking forward to some new Legacy of Kain. This is, to me, fantastic news. So this is gonna cap off my super basic sucky reporting on the Legacy of Kain series. But yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. Take care. Peace.